That was absolutely insane. That was an insane game. I don't even know where to start. Got back from the Garden now. Pretty fun atmosphere there. But yeah, the Rangers end up winning 7-4 over the Boston Bruins, taking over first place not only in the Eastern Conference but in the NHL now as well. And if you told me that they were going to be in first place in the NHL in late November, there's I wouldn't have believed you. I wouldn't have believed you, despite my optimism going into the year. I thought that they were going to be a team that got hot later on in the year, and then they would just be a dominant playoff team. We're sitting here now, and this team is just took down the best team in the NHL, at least by record, the best team in the NHL. And now we're sitting here with the Rangers being 15-3-1. Cannot believe it. Cannot believe it. And was this a pretty win? No. It definitely wasn't. The defense was atrocious this game. Like, let's not even sugarcoat it. The defense was horrendous in this game on both sides. But I will say that's where the positive is that the defense was bad on both sides, and the Rangers went toe-to-toe in a game, which, by the way, they didn't have Mika Zibanejad score a goal in this game today. There was, as you can see, there was not a single point from Alexei Lafreniere. There should have been at least like 3 from him, but he gets robbed yet again of getting points. Not a point from Lafreniere. Panarin only nets 1 goal, which only, but still, he nets 1 goal. And you go toe-to-toe against the Boston Bruins, who have a very, very good offense there. And you end up as well, did I not mention that they also did a good job keeping Brad Marchand off of the board in this game entirely. He didn't even get a single point in this game. So I don't know. Like, I'm very happy. I'm curious to see how this matchup is going to look when they both are playing, not coming off the back-to-back, because I think that played a factor in the sloppiness of this game and the non-defensive efforts, because this was a swinging momentum game. Like, one time early on in the first period, the Rangers had all the momentum. They looked like the team that was going to dominate and win this game. Boston calls their timeout. Then they start going on a run. Then the Rangers get right back into it at the end of the first period. Second period starts. The Rangers look absolutely horrendous, look absolutely lost. They end up all of a sudden getting a swing in momentum at the end of the period. And then the third period, this is where it really mattered. The Rangers, I don't know what adjustment Peter Laviolette made, but the Rangers looked very good in that third period, and that was their best period of the game, and it's not even close. The third period, the Rangers looked very good, and that was what you want to see going forward, especially because they were able to do it against a team like Boston. The Rangers had 7 high danger chances for in that third period, allowing 2 against. So you absolutely, yeah. And Steven, like you're saying, 7 goals against the best team in the league, against Ullmark, who you could argue shouldn't have won the Vezina last year, but he ended up winning the Vezina last year over Ilya Sorokin, and he was, either way, he was going to be a Vezina finalist, and the Rangers score 7. This is the type of offense that I've been wanting to see all season long, especially at 5v5, and Ullmark still made a lot of good saves in this game. Like, despite the Rangers scoring 7, Ullmark made a lot of good saves, but they took advantage of a Boston team that was not playing their best defensive game, which is not what they usually do. Usually we know how it goes with Boston. It's usually a tight game. They usually don't really give the Rangers much room to work with, especially offensively, and they ended up taking advantage and capitalizing on the Bruins not playing well. But that's also credit to the Rangers playing very good offensively, because they were one thing that I had as an issue in this game from the Rangers early on and in the middle of this game was their breakout passes were horrendous. The third period, they found a way to start breaking the puck out, and sure enough, they get 7 high danger chances. Especially that one goal, which we'll talk about later on in the stream here, that I ripped on this guy for being bad at making breakout passes all game long, and then he makes the best breakout pass arguably in the game, and the Rangers end up scoring off of it. But we'll talk about all of it. Before we do, leave a like on the stream if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next on the channel. But yeah, this is the other thing. The first time in a long time the Rangers had goals from all 4 of their lines. All four of their lines produced. The Rangers started off hot. And I think at one point the shots were 8-0 in the first period. They're like 8-0. Lafreniere almost nets a rebound chance after VC had his shot blocked. The second line had a nice shift. Panarin, by the way, we yell at him for doing stupid things. How about him stripping the puck? There was one point in the game where we yell at him for making stupid plays at the blue line. It almost backfired later on in the game when he did it, but he makes a nice little drop pass at the blue line to set up a shift for his line mates. Mika almost got one in front from a pass from Wheeler. Carlos stick lifts him. And then the Rangers somehow kept the puck out when the fourth line was out there. I think it was Goudreau that made the mistake there, but Coyle and JVR don't know how they were able to bury that, but the Rangers somehow keep it out of the net, and they would score, though, as who would have thought Nick Bonino was going to score? I did not think Nick Bonino was going to score, but yeah, he just throws one on goal and snipes it past Ullmark, 1-0. That was a bad one for Ullmark to let up, but Nick Bonino, Sam Rosen apparently tried to do the call. I listened to it, even though it was loud in the arena. I tried my best, but love that he tried to do it. But yeah, Rangers make it 1-0 somewhat early in the game. I mean, about 6 minutes into the game, 1-0, and they continued. Lafreniere trying to capitalize on a turnover. He couldn't end up scoring there. And then there was a collision with McAvoy and Petrias as he ended up going in the room, but he came back out. Jones then coughed up the puck. Marchand almost undressed them with a backhander. Again, the defense was not great in this game. We'll talk about it, but Grzelcyk goes off for a hooking penalty, and then the Rangers would capitalize on it as Eric Gustafsson throws one on goal. Trocheck apparently tipped it. Didn't even notice he did, and it slipped through, and Chris Kreider finds a loose puck behind Ullmark to tap it in to make it 2-0. And I thought for sure they were going to review it, and it was going to be intent to blow the whistle there, but thankfully it wasn't. And then all of a sudden, Boston takes their timeout, and yeah, this is where you saw a momentum swing, one of the many in this game. This game felt more bipolar than me, so that was a concern, because the Rangers ended up playing on their heels after that goal, and Boston took that timeout, and it put the Rangers. They started to sit back, and Quick made a big glove save on Pasta, which was nice, but Heinen had a chance in front of the net, almost poked it in, but Boston would make it 2-1 as Trocheck tries to go for a no-look pass. It goes off of somebody on Boston, I forgot who, but Frederick ends up just dancing around Lindgren. 2-on-1 comes the other way. Gustafsson lays it out, and he blocks the pass, but the Bruins end up getting it because lazy back checking there by the forwards. Trocheck still nowhere to be found, and Coyle ends up getting the puck in front and scoring. And then right after, pretty much like 30 seconds after, the Bruins would end up scoring again. Not enough pressure at the blue line, and Morgan Geekie would throw one on goal, and he ends up getting it past Quick. The Rangers then call a timeout, and then again, you have another swing in momentum because the Rangers got back into the game a bit. Miller had a defensive mistake, but again, the Rangers ended up after that. They looked good the rest of that period. Hitlick had like 50 chances in front of the net at one point. Barclay Goodrow doing a good job blocking shots. Not for the right team, but he did a good job blocking shots. Schneider fired one on goal. The stick broke, and then Jones throws it on. It went off of the post. The Garden was convinced it went in, but I was like, yeah, that went off the post. I wasn't convinced, and then we see the replay. Schneider, though, with a great chance. Ullmark with a great glove save, though. And then the Rangers had a couple defensive lapses there. Quick makes a nice save on Heinen, and then Gustafsson goes off for a hooking penalty, but the Rangers would score shorthanded as Trouba with an unbelievable stretch pass to Chris Kreider, and he snipes it low blocker shorthanded to make it 3-2. And the Rangers, after that first period, you felt, again, this was the definition of cardiac Rangers, that first period alone. They had 6 high danger chances, 5 against. Again, the defensive zone play was not good enough in that first period, especially in the middle of it. They got better as the game went along. Really good at the start. They were okay at the end of the period, but yeah, the main thing for me was they were generating a lot of scoring chances, which was nice because we've not seen the Rangers generate a lot offensively, but this was pretty much a period of momentum swings. That was pretty much the story of that. Each team called their timeouts and it worked. And it worked. And it's rare that you see timeouts called in the first period. It's also rare that you see 3 periods that pretty much took an hour each, which was really infuriating. But still, again, I thought it was just an up and down period. Second period was just absolute mayhem. If the first period wasn't enough, you get to the second period and it's mayhem. And 26 seconds in, the Bruins would score on the power play as Quick stopped Pasta on a one-timer, but then Trouba with a bad play. He went out of position, and then, Pasta ends up getting it again, and he scores. That ties the game up at 3. And then the second period just keeps rolling along. Schneider threw one on goal. Panarin got a rebound, didn't go through. Lafreniere couldn't bury one either. Again, the second line getting chances. The Rangers were generating the chances in this game. They could have easily had 10 in this game. They could have had 10 if Ullmark did not step up and make big saves. So as much as it's nice that they scored 7 on Ullmark did make some big saves. But another defensive lap for the Rangers. Boston almost scored again. Gustafsson tried to set up VC for a tip. That went wide. DeBrusque got a chance on a rebound. Blockers from a blocker save by Heinen. But Heinen ended up skating on top of Quick. Goaltender interference, but it does not matter because what are 3 guarantees of life? Death, taxes, and Vinny Trocheck taking a penalty as he ends up hooking Coyle on a shorthanded rush chance. So did not matter. And they ended up going back to 5-on-5. Not much happened on that 4-on-4. Then the Rangers take a too many men. Inexcusable. Kaapo Kakko, he has been horrible this year. He has been horrible. And the fact that he did not dump that puck in, you got to get that deep. You have to get that puck deep. And that was just a bad look. Kakko, he was invisible, which is even more concerning. In a game where the Rangers score 7 goals, Kakko being invisible, not good. Not good. The Rangers would kill that penalty off, thankfully. But then the Rangers get an odd man rush. Panarin's stick breaks on it, though. Miller with a nice play on DeBrusque. Then Boston got another odd man rush from a bad change, but thankfully they ended up overpassing on that. But the Rangers would make it 4-3 because, again, towards the end of that second period, they started to look a lot better. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was said, but I will take it. The Rangers got pressure, and on a delayed high sticking penalty, they were moving the puck around, and eventually Panarin finds Trocheck to fire one on goal. Good save by Ullmark, but Vesey's there for the rebound. But it was a 4-minute penalty, so the Rangers still get a power play. And unfortunately, not much comes from that. But towards the end of the period, they would make it 5-3. And this is what I was talking about. Keandre Miller, I was ripping on him for not being able to break the puck out all afternoon. And then, sure enough, he has a beautiful breakout pass to Kreider. And then he gives it to Mika. Mika with a nice drop pass. And Keandre Miller, how about the way he sniped that puck, too? 5-3 game. And I felt comfortable at that point. I'm like, all right, you go to the locker room 5-3. I felt like the Rangers had this thing on lock. I really did. And even though Boston ended up scoring at one point in the third period, I really was not that worried with the way the Rangers played that third period. But for the second period, terrible start. Terrible start on both sides of the puck. They took forever to get shots on goal. But again, they cleaned up their play, and a lot of that had to do with their breakout passes improving throughout the period. At one point, the shots were, 14-4 or 14-3 in favor of Boston. They ended up being 14-11, at least I think. Here it says 12-12. I don't know. Because I thought it was completely different. I saw something completely different on Twitter, but regardless, 12-12. Boston had pretty much all 12 of those shots at the beginning of the period. Then the Rangers tightened up, and in the third period, they tightened up a lot, and they played definitely their best period of the game. 17-9 for the shots in favor of the Rangers against 7 high danger chances for them, and they allowed 2 from Boston. Panarin had a good chance alone. He got denied on that, but it would be 6-3 as Jimmy Vesey with a nice little pass off of the draw from Gaudreau winning it, and Pitlick is in front of the net. He roofs it. Who would have had Tyler Pitlick and Nick Bonino scoring their first goals of the season in the same game against Boston nonetheless? Certainly not me, but you take it. And then surely Boston answers right back, though, as Coyle, for whatever reason, this guy completely kills the Rangers every time, as he scored again on an odd man rush. Jones went out of position. He also did a terrible job breaking the puck out on that play there. Schneider got scrambled when Jones was late to the back check, and yeah, Coyle had an easy tap in 6-4. That was really the only defensive lap the Rangers had. And Laviolette, he was pissed off at that one. He was pissed off, but they ended up cleaning that up because they had a lot of chances. They had Panarin almost buried one. VC had a chance off the rush, and then the Rangers would make it 7-4. Jones had a bad pass to Schneider, but Schneider did recover it, and he passes it over to Panarin, who snipes it and makes it 7-4. And at that point, I figured, yeah, this game is, if it wasn't on lock already, this thing should be done. Because their defense stepped up big. Kreider had a breakaway chance for the hat trick, denied by Ullmark. Lafreniere set up Panarin for a chance, denied for whatever reason. Panarin's allergic to scoring when Lafreniere passes the puck. I just don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they don't want Lafreniere to be a point-per-game player and they want the bust allegations to be there, even though he doesn't look like a bust this year. He looks unreal. It's just infuriating that he's getting robbed of all these points. He could easily be, like I keep saying every post-game, a point-per-game player. But outside of that, not much else happened. I mean, Schneider had a good back check on Pasta, who had a chance. And yeah, the Rangers played a very strong third period. So I'm very happy with the effort, especially because of the way that third period went. Shots were 40-31 in favor of the Rangers. They blocked 17 shots in this game. And the story of this game, all four lines were rolling. All four lines were rolling. For whatever reason, I can't even see how the Rangers were according to Natural Stat Trick in terms of the data for each line. Hopefully we could see that at some point, but they won in the expected goals at 5v5. They won it in all situations. They outplayed Boston. I don't want to hear anything. I don't want to hear they're coming off, because one excuse I saw, oh, well, Boston's coming off a back-to-back. Rangers are too. Oh, but Boston played Detroit and the Rangers played Philly. They're pretty much on par according to the record, at least for the same team. Both Detroit and Philly have 10 wins, and I think that both either way are fake good. If we're being honest here, I think both are fake 10-win teams. But regardless, I don't understand that excuse. And then it was like, oh well, we played Tampa this week. All right, the Rangers played Pittsburgh as well, and I know Tampa's a better team than Pittsburgh right now, but still. It's like, we can't just keep making excuses. No, the Rangers they played a good game. They played a good game, and their forward lines were all going. All four forward lines were clicking. And I know that third line, you would have liked to have seen them generate a bit more, especially Kakko, but I still felt they played a good game. The fourth line, though, they look so good right now. The fourth line is rolling. The second line continues to roll. The first line too look good. And then for the defensive pairs, it's weird because like Jones and Schneider actually had a respectable game for the most part. I thought Trouba did too. I thought Miller was okay. I like the goal he scored. I like the breakout, but I still felt it wasn't his best, and I still feel he's capable of providing more. I thought Gustafsson was good, but I thought Lindgren actually had a shaky game at points. I thought Lindgren was very shaky at points in this game, but that's just my opinion. That is just my opinion on that. Let's see. On ice expected goals for the first line, 1.251. Sorry, for the second line, that is technically 1.251. Can I see the high danger chances? There's got to be high danger chances, right? No? Really? Apparently not. Let's see. How about the defense? Could I see anything there? No. Unless it's here. Is there any high danger chances I could find on Money Puck? Don't see it at all. But regardless, Rangers are sitting first in the league, and I'm very, very happy about it. Very happy about it because they went toe-to-toe against Boston, not playing their best defensive effort, and hopefully the defensive efforts could be cleaned up, but I'm willing to chalk it up to it being a back-to-back. I'm willing to chalk up the poor defensive effort to being a back-to-back, especially because Boston didn't look good either defensively. So, yeah, now they play Buffalo on Monday, and then Detroit Wednesday, and then Nashville Saturday for this upcoming week. So, not too bad. I probably shouldn't have talked down on Detroit before we play them, but still, yeah, I'm very happy. Very happy. I'm trying to see if there's anything on Twitter that I forgot that I wanted to mention in here. I mean, there's Boston sucks chants that were funny. You're welcome for that. Laviolette, no, this was earlier on. I can't even look at the stat cards, which sucks because of how bugged everything is. Because you could only see Truba, Schneider, and Jones' stats, and apparently they were good defensively. I don't know. I mean, I agree with that. I felt most of the defensive lapses happened because the forwards were not back checking well enough, but I don't know. It is what it is. And yeah, hopefully Vegas loses so this first place thing could last more than 24 hours, even though by point percentage, no matter what happens in that Vegas game, the Rangers will be first. So not too bad of a spot to be in right now. Not too bad. I'm curious what you guys have to say in chat. Let's go ahead and see before I ramble any further, because that's just what I do. I think I recapped the game all right. Could have been better. It's harder when I go in person, but if you have not left a like on the stream already, by the way, we are at 15 likes. We have 46 of you. Please leave a like and please subscribe if you haven't, because if we could get 2K subscribers, that'd be pretty nice, in my opinion. That'd be pretty nice. Let's see. I'd like to hear what those Dallas fans have to say. I'm not sure what you're talking about with the Dallas fans, but no real complaints for me. The Rangers convincingly beat a team mainly considered to be the best. Yeah, I mean, the only complaint that you could really have is that they weren't sharp defensively. But again, neither was Boston, and the Rangers played that style of game better than them still. By the way, seeing Matt Padres play for the Bruins and be a half point a game player at 19 is super frustrating. Why can't we ever have that happen? Yes, seriously, I don't understand that. Especially because he just jumps right in. It's like, oh, Bergeron's retiring. Yeah, let's just have this kid jump in. I know he's not playing on their first line, but still, it's like he jumps in and it's like, yeah, Bergeron's obviously still the better player, but it won't hurt too much, the loss. It's ridiculous. Yes, seriously. Like I said, a rare time both teams took a timeout and it actually worked. Yeah, the list of names is can I point the right way? This way? No, this way. Yeah, that way. That way. I'm smart. Yeah, we got a long list of names. I never thought I was going to fill out the score sheet this much. Like, I knew there would be high scoring games at some point. Did not think it was going to be this this long of a list, though, in depth. Like, usually when the Rangers get in high scoring games, it's like, oh, it's Kreider, Panarin, Fox, Trocheck, Zibanejad. Like, it's just the top guys. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Thank you, Luke, for stopping by. No problem. Hope you're having yourself a good day. But yeah, I appreciate you that you'll watch it later. And thank you for the words. I appreciate that. Fourth line came up big. Lavi said every time he saw Boston's top line come out, he sent them out there and they dominated. I completely agree with that. And I noticed that too, that every time that first line was out there, he threw the fourth line out there and they did a pretty good job. Did a pretty good job. Yeah, this will be a conversation closer to the deadline, especially if he doesn't heat up. But yeah, Kaka will probably be in question of a guy that might need a change of scenery. And I get that he had 40 points and that Lafreniere's breaking out right now, but he's been in the game longer now, and he had a first full season too. So it's like, I don't know. I can't. I'm having a hard time making excuses for Kakko lately. But I'm not going to complain about Kaka right now. I'm very happy with this win. Rangers are a wagon. I missed the second period, but the first and third looked pretty good considering back-to-back day games. The first period was all right. Again, it was kind of up and down, but the third period was their best period. The second period, though, yikes, yikes. I saw them win in '94, and I'm feeling this team has a shot to get the cup back to New York. Please, please. You gave me the goosebumps. You gave me the goosebumps just thinking about that. I hope. I hope it's November. Don't don't let me have those thoughts. It's only November. Don't do this to me. Don't do this. But it's like, just thinking about it gives me goosebumps. Yeah, I'm not overly celebrating first place. Either way, it's not really that meaningful. We've seen President's Trophy winners struggle in the playoffs, so doesn't mean much. It could change by tonight, but as of the moment, they are first in the league. Yeah, I agree, Laugh. It's probably going to be Pitlick coming out of the lineup, unfortunately, when Heedle comes back, but it should be Barkley Goudreau. I don't understand. I don't think Barkley Goudreau is providing anything for this team that justifies him staying in the lineup. He was easily the worst guy on that fourth line today. And it's pretty much been that way the entire season. Yeah, it is amazing what a good coach could do. It is amazing. And again, everybody yelled at me for trying to hype up Laviolette, saying Carberry was a better choice, saying Patrick Waugh was a better choice. Like, no, you needed to bring in the veteran coach. It was a slam dunk. It was a slam dunk to bring the guy in that's done something. Um, I don't know if Heedle's gonna get a shot on that top line, especially because Wheeler's been getting the points lately too. But uh I don't know. I don't think that's gonna happen. Especially because then Benino, you're obligated to keep him at the 3C since you don't have anyone else really that could play center there. So I don't know if that's gonna happen until the deadline, if there's ever a chance that happens. Dallas fans said the Stars were the only team they played, good team they played this season. The Rangers have the easiest schedule in the league. That's so ridiculous. Like, especially whatever. You play the games that happen. I'll never be one of those guys that's like unless it's obvious that you're only beating the good teams and then you're losing against or you're losing against the good teams and you're only beating bad teams, like maybe, but even then, like you're beating the teams in front of you. What do you want them to do? Just roll over and lay an egg? But yeah, they beat the best team arguably in the league today. So Kako is as good as gone. He needs to turn it on and blow us away, or he's gone at the deadline. I agree with that, Mike. Agree. Rangers did a good job maintaining the offensive zone all day, made it really hard for Boston to break out. That I agree with too. The forecheck was definitely better in this game than we've seen in most games because they were creating havoc. And that's also what led to a lot of odd man rushes, the neutral zone play too. The way that they were suffocating Boston in the neutral zone, they were transitioning that into offense and getting the odd man rushes. So yeah, I agree. I agree, Tom, that Miller has a very high ceiling, but he needs to get his defensive game coached up a bit. It's definitely alarming how many times he's out of position at points. And it's alarming that every season, it feels like he starts off hot and then in the middle of the season, he cools off and looks brutal. And then he heats up again at the end of the season, which fine, I guess if that's going to happen, the team's still winning games. But we know Miller's capable of being better than this. Yeah, if you mean in terms of other sports, yes, I do not support any other NHL team because my rule is that I like my team and F everybody else. That's pretty much what it is. Although I do have jerseys for other teams, but I don't wear them that often. They're more collective things, but still, if you're talking about other sports, I'm a Mets fan, a Knicks fan, and an Eagles fan. And I know you're probably, I know I'm probably going to hear about being an Eagles fan. I know. I got it. You are not wrong, though, Laugh for MVP. You're not wrong. And I said it then, too, is that I said it in the moment, too. If they weren't going to win the cup last year, it was better off them. They were better off losing in the first round to get the coaching change, because if they made the conference finals or the cup, if they got bounced in round two, maybe there's a chance. But if they went to the cup or the conference finals, we're still watching Gerard Gallant behind the bench right now. Yeah, that too. We were expected to be in one of the toughest divisions, and they, I just can't understand it. So they lost to Dallas, but they beat New Jersey, who I was told was going to run away with the Metro this year. They beat Pittsburgh, who I was told Erik Karlsson was going to solve their issues. They beat Detroit, who I was told is a wagon at the beginning of the year. They beat Minnesota, who's been a consistent playoff team. They beat Carolina, who's we know obviously is one of the better teams in the league. Winnipeg's been in the playoffs. I know Edmonton's struggling, but they beat Vancouver, who's been considered a wagon to start the year. They beat Seattle, who was a playoff team last year. I know they're struggling, but they're beating the teams they're supposed to, and they're beating good teams too. Because I still think that some of those teams I listed off are still good, and they're just off to slow starts. Again, what do you want them to do? So let me get this straight. When they play Washington in a couple weeks, and if they win that game against Washington, are we going to look down on that because Washington is considered a bad team and they have a rookie coach? No, they're still one of the top teams in the Metro right now. If they beat them, they beat them. Toronto, they beat Toronto. Oh, Toronto's easier. Yeah, that just means then they're worse than the Rangers, and you're just saying that the Rangers are one of the top teams in the league, because who's better than them then? If every team is easy, then if every team that they're playing is easy, then why are they not good? Why are they not good? What's not good about them if they're beating all these teams that are supposedly easy to beat? It just doesn't make sense. So every team that they've played is easy, but they're not good. How does that make any sense? If they weren't good, they'd be losing to these easy teams, or these easy teams, if you will. It doesn't make sense. Rangers finally look like the team that throws other teams off their rhythm. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice, isn't it? Contributions from all four lines is what wins cups. Yep. This is a game the Rangers lose 5-2 last year with Gallant, who would have refused to take a timeout after giving up the 2 goals in 24 seconds. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And how many times this year have we had to say that if Gallant was behind the bench, they lose that game? That's been said multiple games. The Boston game. Did we say it from the New Jersey game? I don't remember. The Carolina game, we definitely said it. I think we said it against Detroit. I think we said it against Columbus. I think we said it against Minnesota for at least one of the games. I think we said it as well for we did lose to Minnesota. I think it was the Rangers. I don't like saying we. I've been trying to be better at that. But the win against Minnesota, with how much Louis Domingue was tested, they probably usually lose that game as well under Gallant. This team is a 500 team with Gallant. And yeah, they did beat the Canucks, but no, apparently let's not give them credit for that because there was a missed penalty call in that game. No, they won the game. They won the game, and they're still winning games. If they were not good, why are they winning so many games? I'm trying to wrap my head around that. If they're not good, why are they winning so many games? Somebody explain that to me. Because apparently every team now in the league is easy. Makes no sense. Yep, the fourth line looked good. Lafreniere did look good as well yet again. Agree. Agreed. I haven't kept up with the standings, though, in a very long time. I have not. What is happening right? Minnesota's towards the bottom, though, right now. Yikes. It's crazy to me that this team, though, like everyone says, yo, they beat all the easy teams. Yeah, well, they're lost. They have a loss against Columbus. They have a loss against Minnesota. Two of those teams are at the bottom of the league. They have a loss against Nashville, who's towards the bottom of the league. And they have a loss against Dallas, which is at the one team at the top of the league, really, that they lost to as of this moment. So, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Knocking on wood there, though, for that being what I said there. We could go 69, nice, 10-2, and people would still say we only beat easy teams. Yeah, that's just the way that I feel like that's just the thing in all of sports now with fans is like, oh, they only beat easy teams, so they're no good. But it's like only certain teams. It's like, oh no, they're just a wagon. Like I feel like that happens in sports. Like there's that one team where it's like, oh, it doesn't matter who they beat, they're just the wagon. With the NHL, Colorado, Boston, I feel like are the teams where it's like, it doesn't matter the schedule. You give them credit for the win regardless. The NFL, it's really the Chiefs mostly. 49ers too get a lot of love. Baseball, the Braves and the Dodgers, doesn't matter who they beat. They just get all the respect in the world. And then with basketball, the Celtics and the Bucks, they always win. Doesn't matter who they face. Nobody talks about it. But like with football, everybody, as an Eagles fan, I hear all about how, oh, they only beat easy teams. Again, if they were not good, they wouldn't be beating these easy teams. It just doesn't make sense. Yep, they are still a work in progress too. That's the main thing. And they're starting to gel. Coaching matters. Laviolette has young and experienced players playing their asses off. You're not wrong. Oh, yeah, Lafreniere could easily be at 30 points right now. That's what's crazy. But I rambles. I talked for too long. I'm going to wrap things up here because my voice as well is pretty much shot from screaming at that game, from covering a back-to-back. But I really do want to thank you guys again for all the support you guys have been showing on the channel lately. The growth this season has been beyond what I imagined. And I don't know if it's because I changed the channel name or what. I think that helped. I'm hoping that helped. But you guys have absolutely killed it with the support on the channel this year. And I can't thank you guys enough. And I appreciate all of you guys stopping in, especially the viewers that are here pretty much every single post game. You guys are a lot. And even if you're not here, you still watch on replay. So that means something to me. So I appreciate all of you guys. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already on your way out. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not as well on the road to 2K. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, Rangers, as of the moment, top of the league. Let's see if it continues. But see you guys in the next one. Let's go, Rangers.